Today I'm going to be showing you two different stoves that I carry with me. One is a Sterno stove and the other is a butane stove. The Sterno stove is very light. It weighs less than 1/4 pound. They're about $18. They're 6x6x4 when they're assembled. And I'm going to show you how easy that is. It's just, that's the front. This goes into these slots. Just like that. That's the bottom. There's the top. And that uses a Sterno can, which is canned heat, safe heat, whatever name. I already pre-opened this because I've beaten it to death opening it so many times. I've used this can forever. They last 2 to 4 hours, sometimes 6. Depends on the size of the can. But that just sits in there. Make sure everything's level. And to ignite it, you just have to be a little careful. I like to ignite it from the front. So we're going to light that. And you see a nice little blue flame coming off of it. This has 2 cups of water in it. It takes, and yes, there is water in it. It's not a rolling boil, but it's good enough for my idea of tea. So we'll call it 4 minutes. And that's pretty much it for the Sterno. I mean, it's a great little stove. It's all aluminum. You can use a pan that's not a lot bigger than that. I obviously wouldn't use my larger cast iron on it. Let's put this here. Because, and that's going to be hot. But anyway. It doesn't disperse the heat properly in this size pan. Didn't get hot yet. But yeah, that's the little Sterno stove. It's actually safe to use inside with proper ventilation. Caterers tend to use these for weddings and indoor things. Always keep your windows cracked 2 to 4 inches. And if you have cross ventilation, so much the better. But to extinguish this, don't blow on it, because when you blow on it, you get flames. It's just taking the cover, sliding the cover across, just very carefully, and that extinguishes the flame, because it's not getting air. And normally that would be closed. It's nice because it's got, you know, windproof features. It does get very hot as far as the sides, so don't put it on anything plastic. But that would be that stove. And then there's my favorite that I camp with the most when I'm cooking an actual meal. And that would be the butane stove. And the butane stove is just inside. I'm going to turn this so you can see it. You take your butane, obviously you have to take off the cover. There's the nozzle of butane comes out of. There's a little slot here. That little slot lines up with this. If that fits like that, it's perfect. You lock it in, and that's what makes the butane go into the chamber. It's in, yeah, I just touched a hot teapot, which means that actually works pretty fast. Now that it's locked in, it's not going anywhere. I have seen people try to light these and then the fire comes out, and it's scary. Yeah, but anyway, so this stove, to ignite, you turn this all the way down to the bottom. It releases. This is fully on, and you can lower the flame or you can raise the flame depending on what you want to do. And then you can just put your pot on it. Everything I buy is stainless steel or aluminum. The reason being, I have hurt myself by having glass explode in a French press in my house because I poured hot water in it, boiling hot water. This is just a little basic double-walled stainless steel French press. Again, you see that on my other videos. You can hear this boiling. That's how fast that is. This is 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to boil 2 cups of water, and 2 cups is just a water bottle. I'm going to shut that down because I don't need more tea. I've already got my tea. That's hot. This is all aluminum with a porcelain cooktop. They're about $36. It does use liquefied petroleum gas, butane. They weigh about 4.6 pounds, 4.68 I think. It's 20 by 12 by 4 inches high. And you can put carefully, there, you can put a 10-inch pan on it. And because the cooking surface, the heating surface is much greater, these do heat up somewhat. Everything that you want to put on here is going to have better heat dispersion, so that's a good thing. It is adjustable heat, like I said. That's great. Don't use it inside. I have, but don't. I used to use it in my truck, but I also have big sliding windows, so I'd open those up like 6 or 8 inches, and I'd have a cross draft. I also carry CO2 detectors in my vehicles. I no longer have the truck, but I did carry a CO2 detector in there. I'm going to be doing a different video on the things that you really should have with you on the road when you're camping or accidentally camping, which I got stuck in an ice storm, and it wasn't supposed to happen, but the weather report was clear. And I drove into West Virginia, wound up in a snow squall, which turned into an ice storm, and I was sitting on the side of the road for 6 hours, so I wanted to be able to eat something. Again, with this, you do that. It releases the butane. Just make sure it's covered, and you can keep reusing and reusing that, as well as, yeah, I put the Sterno over here. You can keep reusing that, and this Sterno can has lasted me through many ice storms and power outages. So again, another reason to keep something like these around is where I live, we do have power outages. Where I used to live, sometimes they'd be 2 weeks long. So unless I'm cooking on my wood stove, which I prefer not to, I can, but I prefer not to. I have my 2 little stoves, and I can always just grab one, make coffee, because I'm not going to live without coffee or tea in the morning. And that's all there is to this. So when you remember what I'm doing, that's it. It's folded. When you are camping, another nice thing to have when you're camping is something like this. It's just a toaster. If you watched my camping video, you would have seen me use this. It's pretty intuitive. I've had this since I was probably 18. It's just, you put it over the hot burner, put your toasts on it. I'm going to call this a toast. You put your toast on it, and it toasts. You turn your toast around, and it toasts the other side, and yeah, it does a good job. We used to use them in camping trailers back in the old days. But yeah, that's a nice little basic thing to have. It's an accessory that I find it's not necessary, but I do like to have, you know, like toast an egg in the morning. Or just, if you want to just do a quick something that just needs to be toasted, that's this. I don't have any sponsors. This stuff is my own. I wish people would like and subscribe and share my videos, because I actually have fun doing them for you. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this little short My Stoves, and have a good day.